So you want to go clubbing, you want to shake some ass, you want to have a fun time. Babe, I've got you. Here are some tips, tricks, and things to know about the club, before the club, and how to have a fun night, how to make sure that all the girls make it out of the pregame, make it to the club, and make it home safe. Okay, we're gonna break it up into 3 parts: the pregame, the club, and after the club. First things first, we're gonna start with the pregame. Some tips for the pregame is to do more mixed drinks than hard alcohol. You're like, okay, why? Because at the pregame, you know, you wanna make sure that everybody's pacing, and it's a little easier to pace when you guys are just like doing mixed drinks rather than just taking lots of shots, because you're probably gonna do lots of shots at the club because drinks are more expensive at the club. So typically you don't wanna order a mixed drink because that's like a $15 drink, whereas a shot is like maybe $6, $3, depending where you're going. The price can vary, but typically you just wanna do shots at the club instead of like doing a bunch of mixed drinks, unless somebody's buying them for you. But I recommend at the pregame you do a bunch of fun mixed drinks because it's also more enjoyable rather than immediately going in with the hard stuff. You can do a bunch of fun, pretty little fancy mixed drinks. You can have a really fun time with that, making it with your friends, and it's more better on your stomach, so you can actually make it out of the pregame. Also, some things you should always have at the pregame for, you know, purposes of making sure that everybody makes it out without yakking is to have gum. Gum is a great thing to have because it helps with nausea. You should have gum with you before and during club, because if somebody's feeling a little nauseous, maybe they drink a little bit too much, this will help with the nausea. Lots of people say too, something of salt, like you can just do like a little lick of salt and that will help. But the thing about it is salt lasts shorter because you just like did a little bit, whereas the gum you can chew for a minute and it's really gonna help and prevent that. As well, if you're still at home and somebody's maybe starting to yak and they're not, you know, doing too well, feed them some bread. Bread is super great at absorbing the alcohol, so eat some bread, drink some water, give them some gum, and you can probably get them to rally alley and go again back to the club. All right, also, when you are pre-gaming, here are some things you should be doing to prep for your night. Your purse. You wanna make sure you've got everything in your little clutch. I personally always bring a little bit of a clutch to the club, never a big purse, never anything too bulky, because that is just too much and you don't want to have it on you because you're probably going to be dancing with a bunch of people and you don't want something just to carry too much. Honestly, half the time you don't even want to carry anything, but the thing is nowadays you do need your COVID card usually with you to go into clubs, so you want to make sure she's in something safe that's going to like protect it. Here are some things that you should always have in your clutch for the club. Number one that I always love is chapstick. You're going to want chapstick. Your lips get dry, you've been singing, you've been dancing, you've been drinking, you need some chapstick. As well, a little bit of a mini deodorant stick is definitely always a plus to have, because say you're getting a little sweaty, you just met somebody cute, you can quickly run to the loo, put on some deodorant, freshen up, and as well as you're in the loo freshening up real quickly, some little oil blotting wipes are really smart. You can quickly blot your face, make sure you're not like your mascara is not running down your face, get off the sweat, and now you smell good. If you even want to be a little extra, you can even put one of those little like roller perfumes in your purse, and you could throw on some perfume while you're in the bathroom to freshen yourself up. And a really important thing besides just cosmetic is having a little portable charger. You're probably taking TikToks and a bunch of photos at the pregame, then you took a bunch of videos during the club, so by the time you actually make it to try to leave the place, your phone's gonna be at like 20% maybe on a good night. So I highly recommend a little portable charger. They're usually super small and thin, so it's not too much of a hassle to put it in a little clutch. And obviously just throw in your ID, your COVID card, and I usually just throw in like a credit card or something, or I just use my phone because we have contactless payment. But I also always recommend that you always bring cash, because usually you need cash to get into a club if you didn't buy your tickets online. Or sometimes bars only take cash instead of card. So always have a little cash on you before you go out clubbing. Literally just like 20 bucks, you're good to go. All right, so you've got your girls ready, you guys are drinking, you've got your clutch ready. What are you gonna wear? I always look at the club's Instagram before I go out, because some clubs have super strict dress codes. Like I've been in Germany clubbing, Berlin, they have very strict dress codes. France, they have more formal wear. And I've also been in the US, obviously that's where I'm from, and it's just like you could sometimes wear like super fancy cocktail dresses, or you can wear jeans and a t-shirt, or you can do both and it doesn't really matter. So I find the best way to check what the club's situation is to look at their Instagram, because usually they have an aesthetic and they want people to kind of follow that aesthetic, and sometimes they actually do have like entry requirements, like where if you're not in this, you're not gonna get in. Once you've looked at the club's Instagram, you got a vibe for what type of like formal or non-formal wear, you can start putting your outfit together. And a couple of key pieces to remember as you put your outfit together, just that go no matter where you're going, what type of hairstyle is comfortability and sweat. Those are your two biggest things you're gonna be fighting at the club. Number one is it's usually hotter than hell in these places, so you're dancing, you know, you're having fun, and that beautiful long hair that you curled, it's gonna be sweaty. So bring a hair tie, bring a claw clip, so you can just pull that hair back real quickly and still have a fun time and not have your lion's mane all over the place. It's also super sucky when you're dancing at a club, having a really fun time, and the girl with the beautiful luscious hair keeps sticking to you because it's just all over the place. Like, yes, it's beautiful, thank you, but can you just like put her back a little bit? It's kind of a pain. Unless you're like Kylie Jenner and Kendall, or if you're just like clubbing more in the VIP section where you're just sitting at cocktail tables all night, yeah, you can have your luscious hair looking cute, but most of us peasants like to get in the mix, in the mosh, and we're kind of just like throwing it back everywhere, and there's like 100 people all just squished in like little sardines, so it gets sweaty, it gets hot, and the hair in the way gets annoying. Now, obviously my hair is like shoulder length, so it's really easy just to push behind my ears and not get in the way of things, but I usually always go for a braided hairstyle or something pulled back that will be like half up, half down. That way it's kind of out of my face, just because I usually get really sweaty and I just don't want my hair to look like a complete rat's nest by the end of the night. So typically a braid or just like a half up, half down style works really well for me. I highly recommend a style like that for the club. As well, I said sweat and comfortability. Comfortability, if you're holding up those two pairs of heels to your bestie before you go out and you're like, the black or the white, and she says the black, you're not going to go choosing on color, you're choosing on comfort. Which one can you dance on slippery floors for 3 hours, throwing back ass, and then have to walk your butt to who knows, like 3 blocks to find your Uber, okay? Which shoes are gonna carry you through that? Not the black or the white, the comfortability ones, okay, babe? Now that you've got your outfit ready, you've got your purse ready, the girls are ready, the girls, gays, guys are out the door, you're heading to the club, you're at the club, here are some things to do when you are in line. First things first, if you're a girl, you have a lot of props coming up to you because you can probably get in for free. You're like, what? I don't know. Usually there's gonna be somebody, promoter, guy, girl, who knows, walking around that's helping let people in besides security. And sometimes they will let you in for free if you're very, very pretty, or if you have an accent. I know, you're like, what the heck does that mean? Well, I have been to a lot of clubs in Europe recently, and my fun Valley Girl California accent has gotten me into places for free. So if you're back in the US, I highly recommend you whip out some type of accent. If you can do a British accent, Parisian accent, I don't know, just if you got an accent, use it, babe. If you can do it, do it. And if you're in Europe, whip out something that's different. Whip out that little American accent you got going, because it does come in handy, and it doesn't always work. Like sometimes it's like, oh, that's cool, okay, give me my $5. But a lot of the time you can also finesse your way in with a little bit of an accent, and they're usually just like more fun and sweet to you. They're like, oh my gosh, you should go check out that little section over there at those tables, like, you know, because you're like really cute and pretty and I like your voice. So I highly recommend you use that. In line, be ready, have your shit together. You know, you don't want to be the messy group that like, you're like, wait, Jessica, like we need our COVID cards. It's like, where are they? Because you do need also your COVID cards and your ID and some cash. So make sure all that shit is organized when you get in, so you're not like backing up the whole line because you guys don't have your shit together. Especially if you're tipsy, make sure you have your shit together. Okay, so you're in the club and you're like, what do I do now? But you could get some shots if you wanted. I highly recommend shots, and I highly recommend tequila shots because they're usually cheaper and it has less carbs, less fat, all that good shit. And it's like said to be one of the best shots you can take that has like the least hangover effects. So you decided you guys want some drinks and you need to be bold. You need to make it through this giant crowd surrounding the bar. You gotta get your elbows out, man. You gotta get ready to fight. You gotta send in your best fighter, the girl who can push, one who can fight her way in, or your prettiest girl, because you need somebody to get to that bartender, make love her eyes, get contact with them and be like, I want 3 tequila shots right here, right now, okay, babe? Because you need somebody who's getting confident and can make their way through that. You can't be sending in your quiet friend who says excuse me all the time. It's not time for politeness when you are trying to get your drinks. It is crowded, girls are vicious, guys are vicious, everybody wants their drink on, so you gotta be vicious, okay? Okay, so you got your drinks, you've made way, you got out, you got your girls, you take your shots, good to go, put the shot glasses back on the bar, and you head out into the dance floor. First things first, make sure your hair is ready, you are ready to go, and now you just have to pick your spot. So once you're at the bar, you've just got your drinks, eye up the room and see where you want to be. This is typically where I eye up for cuties, where I'm looking for a good music spot, where I see that the crowd's really vibing, or where I see the crowd isn't vibing, and then I go on which direction I want to go. Then me and the girls, we pick our pinpoint, and we're like, all right, that spot looks good, so we shimmy our way through. Best way to make it through the crowd is obviously you could just walk through it, but that's gonna be like, people are gonna get annoyed. Your best way to make it through the club and to, you know, get through a crowded area is to dance your way through it, okay? So you got a big ass line of people, you're just gonna shimmy your way through, okay? You're gonna walk your way through the line, you're gonna shimmy around, because then people are more like, okay, they're just like dancing, they're feeling it, but you're also trying to like scoot by them, but like shake some ass at the same time. It's kind of like a give and take. It's like, I'm sorry I'm pushing you, but I'm gonna give you a little show as I make my way past you to head up to the front, okay? Also, say you see some platforms, you see some raised platforms and people dancing on them. Head for it. Go for it, babe. That is usually the best place that I like to head to, because raised platforms and white girls are like bread and butter, okay? No, honestly, raised platforms are sick because they also offer the best airflow, because you're a little bit higher, so you can actually like breathe, and it's really fun. Most clubs in the US, the platforms are free that you can dance on. Like, they just have them and people can just like stand up on them and dance. I've heard in Europe that they actually cost some money a lot of the time. I've been in France and like we were dancing on some and they were free, but then we found out from like our friends that like usually these cost money, and that was like a rare thing. So do check that though, because sometimes apparently they can cost money if you're in like Europe, but usually in the US they're free. You can dance on those platforms and do what you want. That's usually one of my favorite spaces. Dancing, you're having a great time. What if somebody's trying to make a move on you and you're like, no? Well, you could just like, you know, give them the shimmy away, or you're gonna start getting out you're gonna get out your like elbows, okay? Somebody's trying to grab your ass or trying to grind on you, you don't want them, you're just gonna do some elbows. You're gonna pop some elbows, you go back shimmy, you go out shimmy, you could do some you could do some like little, you're whipping out the embarrassing moves, but you're whipping out the moves that got a lot of movements where they're gonna maybe hit somebody. So you're gonna get them out, go away, go away. Okay, so you're dancing, you're having a great time, but now Alex wants to go to the bathroom. Well, girls, you gotta go in teams. If you're with a group of 4, you're gonna go 2 by 2s, okay, babe? Never let your friend go to the bathroom alone, because it's happened a lot, you know, where men will be in your bathrooms, they will see a girl going by themselves, maybe she's drinking, maybe who knows, who cares, it's not her fault, and they will try to pry on them as they come out, and it's just like, it just put into like an unsafe situations that you don't want to even give anybody the chance to mess with. So always go with your friends in groups of 2. I totally understand, like, yeah, you might have just met, so you think the love of your life on the dance floor and you really don't want to leave him or her, but if your friend has to go pee and there's only like 2 of you, then you gotta go pee, babe. I'm sorry, but you can't leave your girl hanging, or boy, who does it matter? You don't leave your friends hanging. You always go in teams of 2, and if the whole group gotta go, the whole group gotta go too. You know, if everybody's gotta go pee, great, awesome, good check, but never let your friends go alone to the bathroom or anything. Also, before you know you have left for that house, I hope you figured out how you're getting home, because you're gonna be really tired and you're gonna just wanna like literally just be dead. You're just standing there on the curb
like freezing, and you're just like, Jessica, call the freaking Uber. And
she's like, no, I thought you were gonna call the Uber. No, I thought you were gonna call the Uber. Well, my dad can't let me call the Uber. Okay, there's gonna be all these excuses and things. Have that figured out way back when at the pregame, who is calling the Uber or how you're getting home. Okay, so you're having fun, you're dancing, you've got your girls, you're ready. Maybe the night's slowing down a bit, you're like a little bit tired. Now you're gonna start heading out. Always, I recommend leave a little bit earlier than when the club closes. I like to leave even if it's just like 15-20 minutes before I know the club closes. Like, say the club closes at 4 a.m. I'm gonna start making my way out at 3:30, because by like 3:30, first you have to rally your friends, you have to get everybody, you have to tell them to say goodbye to their one lovers, and you have to take a minute to herd the gang together. So give yourself some time to herd the gang together, and then on top of the time to make it out of the club and call the Uber and do what you need to do. And hopefully you've given yourself enough time before everybody's leaving the club, when it's like super crowded and then the Uber surge and that price is just getting expensive, okay? All right, babes, that pretty much sums it up for all the things you need to go for clubbing. It's super fun, it's super safe, and I know everybody always is like, girls, like, cover your drink, don't do this, don't do that, like, and emphasizing all these like safety things. I'm not gonna emphasize that like too much besides the buddy system, because as women, we're told this all the freaking time of how to protect ourselves and how to do this, and babes, like, we already know. Me telling you to cover your cup is something you've heard 1,000 times. Watching your drink, we know this. We've been told this over and over and over again. It's time guys start getting told this. So I'm not gonna emphasize that too much, just because we've been told this 1,000 times and it's like, okay, got it, good, got it, over over it. We get it. You gotta protect yourselves. How about I just wanna have fun? How do I enjoy myself? What are some tips for having fun? That's what I'm presenting because there's plenty of that already shoved down our throats enough. We got it. That wraps up everything I have for you on how to have a fun night and all my tips and tricks for the club and making sure it's a fun night that ends on a happy note. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that down below. Maybe feel free to comment some of your clubbing tips because we all have our own little tips and tricks when we go out. So I would love to learn some, and I know others would love to learn some. So feel free to comment down below some clubbing tips or even questions you have if I didn't cover something that you're curious about. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.